Beauty channel. How's everyone doing? It's been a while since I posted. With the holidays and all, I've kind of fell behind a little on my Realms of the Paranormal channel. I do have another channel that I've been focusing on, Fatal Beauty. I'll post a link below if you want to check it out. It's for music, a little bit of everything. I dab into ASMR, mukbangs, just eating shows, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of everything. So hopefully this camera stays in focus. It keeps coming out of focus. I just wanted to wish everyone happy holidays. I hope everyone's Thanksgiving was great. It was actually my birthday. I was born on Thanksgiving, and so I celebrated both. Today's episode is about spiritual attacks. Now, for those of you who do not understand what that is, I've been suffering oppression, I have to say, all my adult life and part of my childhood. I just was just too young to understand what it was. Some say it's a curse put on my family, and it's been passed down from generation to generation, if you believe in such nonsense and silliness. To some of you out there, curses are quite real. I don't know if I can believe in a curse, but I do believe that there is a devil, there is a God, there is a heaven, there is a hell. I believe that we have our personal hells, and whatever it is that makes you sad, angry, depressed is amplified in your personal hell. If you have a fear of spiders, arachnophobia, or if you have a fear of snakes, whatever the fear is, that's magnified in your own personal hell. If you're afraid to be alone, you'll be indefinitely isolated in hell for all eternity. So that's what I mean by a personal hell. And I believe hell does exist. I believe heaven exists. I believe in Jesus and the Trinity, the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. I believe when we pass on, we go somewhere better, and we do reunite with our loved ones only if they're in the same realm. The realm of heaven, that is. So, what's been ailing me? My oppression, I don't know how it started. I think I might have opened the doorway when I was younger, dabbling in the dark arts. Or perhaps it is a family curse. I heard stories told from the family, and my mom told me that she used to have a witch that followed her, wearing a black cloak, hooded cloak, and she appeared to be levitated, not walking on the earth, but above the ground, you know, like floating. Whenever she seen her, she could see her in broad daylight, she could see her at night, and she'd see her sitting at the foot of my bed when I was asleep. So I believe it's a dark entity that's been following me as a child. back as far as childhood. Quite possibly. I can self-analyze this till I'm blue in the face, but can I prove it? I'm still researching. I'm still investigating it. I talk to my mom about it every chance I get. I try to get as much information about it as possible. Apparently there was a woman that was in love with my father when my father and mother were still married. And I believe I was an infant at the time. This woman apparently dabbled in the dark arts. I know I'm fidgeting a lot, but this is a strange topic to discuss. It's possible my mother confronted her. What was said, what was done, not sure. I guess she could have said something like, stay away from my husband. And whatever else was said, I don't know. I will ask my mother next time I speak to her. But according to her, this woman was chasing my father, and allegedly my father was having an affair with her. She dabbled in the dark arts. Whether or not my father was aware of it at the time, I'm not sure. That's something else I need to find out. I couldn't come out and ask him. I think he would be offended. Probably be in denial, maybe perhaps not remember. Or he blocked it out. I don't know. It's not something I choose to talk to him about, especially not currently in his medical and mental state. And with the holidays, I don't want to bring it up, but it's something that's been dawning on me, and it's a heavy weight, I've been carrying this weight with me for a long time, and I believe it started as a child because I had these strange visions as a child. I could see ghostly images, like and hear disembodied voices, see like heads floating around my bed, white ghostly faces without features, without eyes, without nose, without mouth, just many of them surrounding my bed. A vision of a snake, a rattlesnake. At the time, as a child, as a little girl, I couldn't identify the snake as a rattlesnake. I'm just looking back now. As an adult, I can identify that it was a rattlesnake because I can hear the rattling, and the snake was coiled up by the foot of my bed, rattling its tail, and it woke me up. I looked and screamed, jumped out of my bed, and ran to my mother, who was in the living room at the time, most likely studying. She was taking classes at night, secretary classes. I can't remember her facial expression, but she did accompany me back to the bedroom to see what I was talking about. And of course, when she went, there was nothing there. So she basically told me I was having a bad dream and to go back to sleep. It was just a bad dream. As a little kid, you believe your parents because they're bigger, they're older than you. You look up to them. So I believed her, and I said okay, and I went back to sleep. I remember another incident as a child. I got up. My mom got me up for school. I couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old maybe younger. And I distinctly remember my eyes were just starting to focus. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you're groggy still? Well, my eyes were still focusing, and I see something black on my right arm from the corner of my eye in my peripheral vision. And when I look over like this, it's a black spider. I screamed so loud. My mom came and she knocked it off me. I don't know what she did with it. She killed it, flushed it down the toilet. I don't remember. All I remember is seeing a black spider on my arm and freaking out. Like, where did that thing come from and why was it on me? First thing in the morning when I'm just barely waking up and I have to get ready for school. So that was another memory of mine, and I feel like that was kind of a witchy thing, like something a witch would do to someone, you know, to frighten them, which is really messed up for a child, of course, for anyone, especially a child, a little girl. My mom kept the house immaculate always, so where that spider came from, no one knows to this day. It wasn't that big, but as a kid, everything is big, you know. Now that I think back, it could have been maybe a little bit bigger than my pinky nail. Nonetheless, it was scary. Enough to frighten a little girl first thing in the morning. That to me seems kind of witchy, something a witch would do, you know? This is just pure speculation. I have no proof of it yet. So, and the list goes on. I also recall as an older young woman in my 20s, I was renting out an RV. For me, it was pretty big. It was long. It had to have been at least 20 feet long. I could be off by a foot or 2 or 5. It was fairly long. I rented it out really cheap. And please excuse the noise in the background. My neighbors are renovating, nonstop noise since they moved in. Anyway, I remember that I was falling asleep. It was during the day. It must have been an early afternoon. I was taking a nap. I dozed off. And all of a sudden, I felt this presence in my room. And I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. I could see there was a black, thin material being laid over my face, like a veil, like a black veil. And I could hear a rattling sound, but not as strong as this. Sounded sort of like if you put rice in a cup and you shake it, kind of like that. Or in bamboo, in a bamboo shoot or type of container and shake it. Or beans, but no, it sounded more like smaller, like maybe rice. And I just kept hearing it, like shaking by my ear, like sort of like tribal, like Indian type thing. And this black veil over my face. Now I couldn't move. I couldn't see the face of the person, but I can sense it was a female. I guess because of the veil, the black veil. To me, at that moment, I was thinking a veil, has to be a woman because women wear veils, right? It wasn't a good presence. It felt evil. It was definitely malevolent, and I couldn't move. It was broad daylight. I wasn't dreaming. My eyes were wide open. Something caught my attention, and when I attempted to look is when I realized I couldn't move. Some may say it's sleep paralysis, but I was asleep and then I woke up, you know? So I don't think it's sleep paralysis. You can judge how you like, but I know what I felt and I know what I saw. I currently wear protective from my tribe, Taino tribe, which is a tribe in Puerto Rico. I wear protective amethyst and sage in a pouch, which was blessed and prayed over